I love these handheld mics when I travel. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I'm going to talk today about something that I think affects at least 40% of you, maybe 50% of you, God forbid, maybe 60% of you. I hope not, but maybe. And that is how your relationship with your parents as an adult is fucking up your life. I am Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We do 5 videos a week here on how to make both your business life and woman life more free, because you need both. By the way, we're doing an online course drawing giveaway right now. This is my online course on how you can create your own location independent income. And it normally retails for about $1,400, and you might be able to get it for free. All you need to do is be a subscriber here at YouTube, like this video, and leave a comment on this video, and we will announce the winner of the drawing every 2 weeks here at the YouTube community feed at this channel. Let me explain how historically, not how, but why parents historically had children. And the reason parents had children historically was as a retirement mechanism. So back in the 1700s, when you were a farmer out on the plains, you were a pioneer, what have you, and you only had a shortened lifespan, and you knew that you wouldn't be able to till the soil and milk them cows and slop them hogs and shit like that for the rest of your life. You knew at some point you'd get old, and so you knew that you would need help. You couldn't afford to hire employees. You really didn't have any slaves in most cases. So what did you do? You cranked out a bunch of babies. Now, they wouldn't have kids because they wanted to be dads or they wanted to have kids someday, or because in many cases their religion told them that a good man has children, or any of that stuff. In most cases, there are exceptions. They had kids as a retirement mechanism. They had kids so that they could have someone to take care of them in their old age. That's why they had kids. Now, there are many parts of the world, especially places in Asia, parts of Asia, even parts of South America, Middle East to some degree, Africa to some degree, where this still occurs. And if you are an Asian guy, you know that depending on which type of Asian guy you are, Chinese, I don't like to generalize and call you guys Asians, but you know what I'm saying, especially if you're Chinese, things like that. Your parents basically had you as a pension plan. Your parents had you, and they knew that because of your culture, you would be forced to, as soon as your parents got old, bring them into your house and take care of them in their old age and then entertain them and kiss their ass until they die. Right? This is part of the culture. Now, here's the problem. That's fine if we lived in the 1700s. That's fine. I have no problem with that system. Just one problem. We don't live in the 1700s anymore. We live in the modern era. We live in the high-tech 21st century. This means that as soon as you turn 18 or so, that is a debatable age, but most countries and most regions agree it's around age 18 where you are officially an adult. When you reach age 18 or so, you are an adult. That means at that point, and I talk about this in my books a lot, you own you. You are an adult responsible for yourself. Your parents do not own you once you hit age 18 or so. Now, when you're 5 years old, 7 years old, 12 years old, you could make the argument, and I would agree with the argument, that your parents kind of own you. I've talked about before how children do not have rights in terms of rights to freedom because they're not full adults, because they don't have agency. So does a 5-year-old have the same amount of rights that a 35-year-old man has? No, of course not. That would be silly. So therefore, the parents do have to control and own, to some degree, that 5-year-old kid. This ends as soon as you turn 18. Or again, if your country is different or culture is different, please adjust. I'm going to say 18 for the rest of this video. This ends when you turn 18. When you turn 18, your parents don't own you anymore. Let me say that again. A lot of you motherfuckers aren't getting this, especially you guys who are Asians, especially you guys who are Indian, many of you guys who are black, many of you guys, not as many, but some of you guys who are Hispanic, and even, God forbid, some of you white guys have this thing where you have this process in your head from false cultural societal programming. And as I've talked about in The Unchained Man, cultural societal programming is the most powerful of all the different types of societal programming there is. You have this cultural societal programming that says, I have to kind of do what my parents want. I have to kind of make my parents proud. I have to kind of follow the path of my parents, even if I'm in my 20s, 30s, 40s. That is bullshit. That is not true. It was true in the 1700s to a degree. Yes, it is not true today. Once you turn 18 and become a legal adult, your parents do not own you anymore. They have no control over you with one exception. The one exception is if you continue to live at home with your parents, and especially if they don't charge you rent, then I agree they can put some parameters on what you do when you live in their house, when you're physically in their house. But once you leave that house, in terms of living your life, they have nothing to do with it. And certainly if you don't live with your parents. And I'm talking to a lot of you guys are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, who don't even live with your parents. In some cases live on the other side of the world as your parents, and you are still all concerned about what your mom wants you to do, or what your dad wants you to do, or how you better have kids now because your mom is bugging you to have grandkids, or whatever the fuck. You have got to get your balls out of your mother's purse, slap them back on, and be a fucking man. Your life belongs to you, not to your mother, not to your dad. I didn't say you don't love your mother. I didn't say you don't respect your mother. I'm not talking about love or respect. I'm talking about orders. I'm talking about control. I love my parents. I love my parents a lot. I respect both of my parents a lot. Do you think I give a fuck what my parents want for my life? No, and I've mentioned before on past videos and in my books and things like that, in both cases, one from my dad about 20 years ago and one from my mom about 10 years ago, I had to tell both my parents to fuck off because they were giving me instructions and parameters on how they wanted me to live my life. And I said to both of them, I don't give a fuck what you want, Mom and Dad. I am a grown man. I'm going to live the way I want. And if you don't like it, that is your fucking problem, not my fucking problem. If I was 15 years old, different story. I'm not. I'm in my 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever age I was back then. 30s, something like that, whatever. The point is, unlike many of you, I had the balls to tell my parents to fuck off. I did not say, I don't love you, Mom. I don't love you, Dad. I don't respect you. I don't like you. I didn't say I'm not going to talk to you ever again. I didn't say those things. I just said, in terms of what you guys want from my life, I don't give a fuck. You have your own life, and you need to remember this. Your mom and your dad have their own lives. They are adults. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to tell you what to do. They can do whatever they want in their lives. But my mom really wants me to have grandkids, Caleb, and I'm 38, and I don't know, I'm feeling kind of guilty that I haven't had kids yet because my mom really wants grandkids. Your mom already had her fucking kids. You're one of them. Your mom had her shot at raising those kids. She had her chance, she did it, and now she's done, and now it's other people's turn. If you want to have kids, great. If you don't want to have kids, also great. It doesn't matter what your fucking mom wants. Your dad, in terms of, a lot of you guys want to impress your dad. Oh, I want to be a dentist to impress my dad. I want to go to college and get a 4.0 because he's really strict about that stuff. I really want to impress my dad because he's Chinese. Who gives a fuck? That's his problem. He can go back to college and he can go to 4.0 if he wants for himself. You are a grown fucking man. You do whatever you want. If you are locked into what your parents want for your life, your mom or your dad, and I have found in talking to many of you, most of you, it's your mom. God forbid. Most of you, it's your fucking mom, not your dad. I mean, if it was your dad, that'd be one thing. But goddamn, most of you guys, it's your fucking mom. Millennials, Generation Z, plus in other countries. Anyway, don't get me started on that. You need to understand that if you are concerned and stressed out about what your mom or dad want for your life when you are over the age of 18, certainly when you don't even live at home anymore, you are not free. You need to get the balls and start living the way you want to live, even if it is completely opposed to the way your parents want you to live. For the past 13 years, I've been having sex with multiple women. Do you think my mom, a former Catholic nun, was perfectly cool with that? No, she hated it. Tough shit for her. It's my life, not hers. She can do whatever she wants in her life. I can do what I want in my life. Do you think the way in which I have run my companies over the past, 15 years or so, 20 years or so, is exactly the way my dad would run his small business back when he was working? Today he's retired. No, I don't give a fuck. That's his fucking problem. He can start his own business, and he did, and he can deal with that himself. I am my own man. I don't care. By the way, I've mentioned this before. In both cases, when I told my parents to fuck off, we never, ever had a problem ever again after that. Never, ever after that did my dad or my mom ever give me any shit about what they wanted me to do for their lives. Now, what's interesting is they give their other kids shit all the time, but for some reason they don't give me shit. I wonder why that is, because I didn't take any of their shit. There's way too many of you, and you may be one of these guys watching this video right now, where you're taking all kinds of bullshit from your parents. And the reason you're getting that bullshit is because you're putting up with it. and you're letting them lecture you, order you around, complain and whine and bitch. And what you need to say is, Mom, Dad, whoever it is, I don't care. I don't fucking care who it is. Even if it's some of you guys who are being raised by your grandparents, I don't care. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. You may hate the way I want to live my life, and that is your problem, not mine. And if you keep bugging me about this, I'm not going to be seeing you for Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. It might be a year or two before you see me again. So I suggest you think very carefully if you want to spend time with me about what comes out of your fucking mouth the next time you hang out with me. And yes, I have said exactly this, not those exact words, but basically exactly that to both my parents at some point. You've got to have those kind of balls. And if you can't, you are not free. Please, please stop pretending as if you're 15 or 12 or 8. You're a grown fucking man. I don't care what your culture says. I don't care what your religion says. I don't care how much your mom cries. I don't care how scary you think your dad is. I don't give a rat fuck about any of these things. You need to own your own life. Your life belongs to you, not your parents. Don't forget it.